What's up, guys? What is up? Welcome back to Deck Talk Podcast. I am Colin Burnett.
And I am Norman Lee. What is going on, Colin? We just actually seen each other a few days ago, right?
Man, yeah, we did.
What a week, dude. What a week.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, let's get things started real quick, Colin. We're actually supposed to have Art tonight on as our guest from Spear Point Hooks, but Art messaged us a little bit ago, and Art's feeling a little bit under the weather tonight, so we're actually rescheduling him. Hope you feel better, Art. Get well soon, dude.
Yeah,
And
for sure, man.
but anyway, it's
We'll
just
have to
gonna
go
be you
get
and
him
me
on,
tonight,
so.
dude. Another chat with Norman Lee and Colin Burnett. So
Yeah.
let's get the ball rolling, dude.
Heck yeah. Well, first off, we've already got our first viewer on here and comment, Mr. Dennis Crenshaw.
What's up, Mr. Dennis?
We,
We hung with Dennis a little bit down there in Florida. It was
man,
great
and
hanging with my man
that's
down
such a
there.
blast, too.
Oh yeah, it was. It was too.
So, but yeah, we got to hang out with Dennis for a little bit. Sorry, I got a little glare. I'm trying to fix on my. Uh, we got to hang out with Dennis for a little bit, and I actually got to go out on the boat with him. And man, that was a blast, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, man. Them bugs. How about them Florida bugs down there at nighttime though on the water?
Yeah, that was
I
a
felt I
lot of bugs. That was
kind of
more bugs than I've ever seen at
yeah,
one
yeah, I
in
kind of
one
felt
little
sorry
area.
for Yeah, I kind of felt sorry for Dennis though. Dennis took the time to. We actually went out crappie fishing with Dennis the night we got back from Icast on Thursday night. Sort of felt sorry for him. I mean, there
Not
was
sort of. I did feel sorry.
there
He
was
must have had a million bugs on that boat.
oh, no doubt, man. His boat when we got back was just covered. We got home the next day. We went down to the Glades the next day and jacked a few peacocks around, and we got back that evening. And he was out. He had the pressure cleaner going. He was just finishing up. We pulled in the door because we actually stayed with him. Shout out to Dennis and his wife Gwen too for putting up with our sorry butts for 3 or 4 days.
Man,
I
yeah.
will say though, Gwen, man, what a cook. She has it together when it comes to that fried chicken, doesn't she?
Oh man, that fried chicken was it.
But
Uh,
yeah, we got back and Dennis is just finishing up. It's like he's like, man, good timing, guys. I'm just about finished getting all these bugs off the last 3 hours, and you guys finally decided to show up.
yeah, yeah. So, but then we got Charles Bailey. What's up?
What's up, Charles?
Yeah. Then it says my wife loves feeding you all. So
Man.
uh, we enjoyed eating it. Just to let you know, Dennis. So,
Oh yeah.
but man, let's talk a little bit. Why were we down there, Norman?
Well, anyway, we actually had we had a few different agendas, but the main agenda was ICAST.
Yeah.
Now, anybody not familiar with what ICAST is the world's largest fishing, outdoor, hunting, camping, anything related to the outdoors trade show in the world. Um, you ever had the privilege of being able to register for ICAST? You're going to have anybody that's anything in the world of the outdoors, whether it be fishing, hunting, is going to be at ICAST. It's like a who's who there at ICAST. So yeah, it was a crazy couple days there. I mean, we actually had an agenda there that we'll probably get into here in a little bit as far as what we done there. But yeah, man, it was fun. Got to see some people that we only get to see once a year.
Yeah.
So it's always a blast when you go down there. But it's kind of it's fun, but at the same time, it's work because we are hustling there. We're actually floating back and forth between different sponsored booths, stuff like that. So it is a job down there for us, but hey, it's a blast. We enjoy it. We love doing what we do when we get down there.
Oh yeah. We definitely enjoy it. We are a little tired though once we get back though.
You look like you're still. You look like. Well, I tell you what, we got back, dude, and I went. We actually got back about 3 o'clock in the morning. We drove straight back after we came off the lake. We fished for what, about 6 hours. Sunday morning, we got off the lake about 1:30, and we ended up getting back to Cleveland. We headed straight back. Got back here, what, about 3 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, something like that.
And I went to bed as soon as I walked in the door. Of course, you had to work the next day, so
Had to
uh,
go to had to go to Indianapolis. So within 24 hours, I went from what is it, South Florida to Indianapolis and
yeah.
unload some little Debbie's, and we yeah, I've been a little tired
Yeah,
this
I
week.
got to bed. As soon as I walked in the door, I got to bed about 3:30, and I think I slept till about noon time. I can't remember the last. I don't think I've ever, even as a kid, slept till noon before. But that's how tired I was. I didn't
I
even
don't know
think about.
why you're so tired. I've done most of the driving.
Hey, I did happen to manage to put in 2 hours while you slept. You snored for about 2 hours until I think I almost hit a couple something on the side of the road a couple times. Started to veer off pretty good. I'm like, we either gotta pull over or you're gonna have to drive from this
Yeah,
point on, because I was starting to get a little bit dangerous when you start feeling like you're wanting to go out of it while you're driving. So,
yeah.
but we made it back safe. Colin finished driving, and but yeah, I'm
But
just
let's
now actually recuperating from it.
yeah. So let's take a rewind back and let's actually talk about Icast a little bit. This year's Icast was a lot bigger than last year's, um, and just the booths and stuff that was there, which was a lot of it was stuff that we've seen prior years and that we companies that we know of, but there was quite a bit of new companies that I haven't even heard of. That
Yeah,
was there.
yeah,
Some interesting stuff and exciting stuff that's coming out, um, but can't wait till it actually hits the market to where we can get some of the stuff. But
yeah, yeah. And
so
go ahead.
so with that being said, though, Norman, let's talk a little bit about let's start with Firefly. We have to start somewhere. We might as well start with Firefly, and uh, which we were in the booth for. I mean, the very first day. I mean, pretty much all day in the booth at Firefly, helping Chad
Yeah,
out
we worked for the Firefly booth pretty much. Yeah, I guess we pretty much was there
all
uh,
day, except
all
for about an
day.
hour and a half.
Yeah, exactly right. Getting back to what you said, about a lot more vendors and a little bit bigger this year is now it's actually getting back to where it was pre-COVID.
Yeah,
Of course, last year was your first year, which last year was actually the first year, I believe, or they might have been, or the year before was the first year they actually canceled it the year of COVID.
yeah,
But now they're starting to get. Last year was the first year they actually let the countries outside the U.S. back in to ICAST, so it's actually starting to become what it used to be. And it's with the extra vendors that was there this year versus last year. But yeah, man, we pretty much stayed at Firefly all day to help Chad out there. Um, Really busy. It was a pretty busy day,
yeah.
and talked to a lot of people. Hopefully, hopefully Chad was happy with the way we represented, which I'm sure he was. But yeah, it was a good day there at Firefly. But we didn't get a chance to hit many more booths that day. Chad was a little short staffed that day, so we figured we wanted to stay there and kind of help him out, because it could get overwhelming, especially running a booth when you're by yourself like that. So
Oh yeah, I mean, real quick. I mean, because one
yeah,
minute it could be dead, and the next minute you got 20 people standing
yeah,
there at your booth just watching you.
exactly. And there was a lot of times where all three of us was pretty much talking to different people at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty good. Really busy there.
So what? Let's talk about some of the product, the new product, because everybody knows the navigational lights that we've done the commercial for Norman, and with the stern light and the bow light. But let's talk about some of the new stuff that Firefly has out that may pique some people's interest. I mean, he
Yeah,
has a new product that definitely is going to do good out
yeah.
fishing.
They have a new product out that's I don't believe it's available yet to customers. It's going to be real soon. You're going to be able to catch it on their website. Um, but they have a shore. It's kind of like a shore storage type tackle
It's
station,
called a stacker
a
box.
stacker box. But the cool thing about this is it actually has a base for a stern or anchor light in this box with a small battery pack. With the regular Firefly push button light that you'll see on their bow lights that operates their courtesy lights on the side of this box to be able to turn the nav light on and off. And this box is going to be really, really cool for those guys that like to beat the bank, especially when they do a lot of night fishing, catfishing from the dock, from the pier, from the bank, people that go to the jetties, or just have a smaller boat that doesn't have the capabilities of nav lights built into it. Uh,
Exactly. But
yeah, this is a really
and the
cool
thing
product.
though is that and it kind of goes good with the other new product that they have with the Firefly Junior, which
Junior,
the
yeah.
Firefly Junior is a stern light that with it compacted down, it is 3 foot. When it is fully extended, it is 5 foot. So to where like how ours that we have, Norman, is roughly about 5 foot right now. With it not extended, with it fully extended, it's 9.3. So uh, for just in the 9.3, when you have it fully extended, more or less like we were talking about, Norman, that it's more or less for people that fish at night a lot, because it does light up around what you're doing around the boat and stuff like that. You're able to see, um, but the junior, pretty much like if you're in tournaments and it's all you're using it for is just going to be like at safe light, where you have to have your navigational lights on. That it is smaller, easier, compact, and it will do well for a tournament angler as that, but it also will go onto your kayaks, like what you were saying, and John boats. But then to go back with your stacker box that was talking about, that junior fits on there perfectly, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, no doubt. And the cool thing about that is you know now you have light that you're going to be able to carry around with you to wherever you go when you're fishing, whether it be the dock, the bank, fish off the rocks, fish off the jet, wherever you go.
Yeah,
And the cool thing about that though is if you drop the Firefly Junior, or I mean even the regular Firefly anchor light that you could extend to 9 foot if you wanted. It's your choice. But now you're going to have the same general feeling, just like you would if you're fishing out in a boat with it on, where you're actually literally almost like fishing under a full moon without no glare around you. So now you can fish from the bank, you can fish from the dock, and have the same effect that the Firefly gives you of fishing under a full moon without the added effect of the glare that even regular lighting that you might bring with you to set on the dock, whether it be a lantern or anything like that, you're still going to get the glare effect. So
yeah.
this will give you the compact with the light, and you'll have the no glare because of the Firefly light that you can put in it.
Oh, Jonathan's on here. He said his Mexican food was good.
I thought Jonathan was going to be asleep right now. Come on,
He ain't gonna be asleep. He's got a 3 year
he
old.
said he said he was going to be asleep.
But again, let's like with that box. So the top, it has like a tray on top to where you can put some baits on it, to where you're not really having to carry a bunch of stuff. And then up underneath that tray, it has enough room to where you can store some snacks. and it's a waterproof thing to where you can put drinks and ice and stuff in there, and it's not
Yeah.
going to get into where the battery is.
Yeah, it's
So
completely watertight, and if you're just using it to go bank fishing, fish from the dock, it's perfect, a perfect storage system for whatever you want to carry with you. It's
exactly,
not too big, not too bulky. It's not too big inside where you're going to lose everything that's in it and have to dig through it. It's really just the perfect size for what you want to do for a little
it's
nighttime.
like the size of a small tackle box.
Yeah.
So,
And
but
underneath,
let's
it has a place to drop some ice in, put a couple cold drinks, and it has a divider in it too, where you could actually put cold drinks on one side and put a bag of chips or put some snacks, some crackers on the other side, where it's going to keep the ice or the water from getting to it.
exactly. So, but that's not those two things ain't the last thing that they have going for them. Firefly. This next thing, Norman, I love this thing. Um, it is a foul weather gear,
Yeah.
and what it is like, it's like a three piece. Like it has a base. What is it? Like a base cover type deal. It kind of looks like a wetsuit type deal. It's that the neoprene
Well,
and
yeah, it's a neoprene material. There's a lot of foul weather gear out there on the market that has a neoprene, but not like this.
no,
Not like this.
and
There,
uh, but that the neoprene suit that looks like a wetsuit. One thing that I like about it is because you can have it up underneath some clothing. Like you could wear blue jeans and wear like a t-shirt and a hoodie and stuff, and you're comfortable.
yeah,
Um, and then if it's really cold and rainy and stuff like that, they do have some neoprene bibs also. Um, and and they have a jacket also. Cool thing about the jacket is the hood on it. When it's up, it stays snug to your face. It's not tight, and it has a vent in the back of it. So when you're going down in the boat, going across the lake or whatever, that vent, you know how like when you got a hoodie on, the hoodie goes blows out, and then it does you no good. Well, this keeps that vent will keep that hoodie of the hood part around your head to be able to keep your head warm.
oh yeah,
Uh, that thing was phenomenal. I
yeah,
mean, when y'all get this in y'all's hands, I'm telling y'all, it is by far the best foul weather gear.
yeah.
And like we've had it out and at what was it like 27 degrees and had the foul weather gear on and everybody else was saying that they're freezing, let's hurry up, let's get this weigh in done. And you can pull that like the wetsuit part, the base part of it, pull it out and just steam will just roll off. It's not that you're hot, it's just it just retains your body heat.
Yeah, Chad, when he was designing this, he really put a lot of thought into the design process of this.
Yeah.
So you'll see, and you guys got to keep an eye out for it when it hits, when it becomes available. Do you remember, Colin, when Chad was mentioning it's going to become available to customers, or I can't
I think he said
see it
November.
December?
November.
November, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna become available sometime around the November time frame.
End of
I don't
October, beginning
yeah,
of
I don't want to do an
November.
exact 'cause I don't want to really
And
be
that's going to be the perfect timing that you're going to want to get this.
that's
And
about when you're gonna want it.
yeah, Norman's going to want it so he doesn't have to wear 25 layers of t-shirts on.
Yeah.
But
I look like the abominable snowman with all the long sleeve tees that I wear when
what's
it's
up, Michael Linda?
what's up? But
he said,
yeah,
he said,
Chad Watts was on point when he
yeah,
designed this.
yeah, he was. And let's do this. Go to fireflymarine.com. Look at all their lots. Look, you can see the stacker box in there. You're going to be able to see the foul weather gear. It is the best looking foul weather gear that is out there, period.
Yeah.
And uh, look at it And then when you decide to purchase whatever, use our discount code. Norman, what is our discount code?
Our discount code is DeckTalk10. Again, anytime you order anything from Firefly, www.fireflymarine.com, use the discount code DeckTalk10. You get yourself an instant savings on, whatever items you might need, DeckTalk10. But another thing, Colin, too, is I just got done today. That was one of the things I was actually doing before we went live today. Uh, every day since we've been back from Orlando, as soon as I get up, which is funny because I think I told you once we get back, I'm probably gonna take 2 days to just rest, recuperate, and relax. And of course,
Well, what's one?
I can't sit still at all.
No.
The first day I sat, I got up. What was it? I got up Monday morning, or actually about noontime, I guess it was, when I woke up and got up about 1 o'clock. I had me a little, actually lunch, but it was breakfast because I was just waking up and I was gonna sit there and watch TV and just relax all day. About an
Yeah.
hour of that went by, and what was I doing? I was down here banging on a computer, starting to load some videos to get ready
Well,
to.
it's hard. I mean, it's just hard to kind of just chill out. I mean,
But
you
anyway,
to kind of,
today I got, so keep posted, guys, because the foul weather gear we just talked about, along with the
the stacker box.
the stacker box, and along with the Firefly Junior nav lights. There's three separate videos that I just got done editing them all today. They should hit social media tomorrow.
Yeah.
So keep an eye.
Let's do the foul weather gear tomorrow.
We'll do the foul weather gear tomorrow,
Yeah,
so
so
keep an
people can
eye out.
see what we're talking about, and I mean, you're going to be amazed of
Yeah,
what that foul weather gear looks
yeah,
like.
yeah. So
But
keep
hey,
keep
before we
on
go any farther, we
YouTube.
do have some comments. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Uh, Michael Lindell says, "Man, y'all were busting up the peacock bass with Captain Neil Stark while I was catching giant bass on Placid. You would think it would be opposite. Nah, nah. We did destroy some peacocks, and we got some videos that's coming out that it's gonna be hilarious. If we can get it figured out, it's gonna be great, isn't it, Norman?
Yeah, oh yeah, and congratulations, Mike too. Mike jacked him down there Saturday. He had a tournament on Mile Stomping Grounds on Lake June. I think it was on Lake June on Saturday. They had a 2 day. I think it was
Yeah,
two separate events, but they're June on Saturday and Placid on Sunday. But I think Mike said that he actually won the Saturday event on Lake June and did real well on Placid the next day too. So congratulations, dude. That
yeah.
was awesome.
Congrats, brother. Um, and he says, "Man, it looks like Christmas on Norman Lee's desk. What happened is an elf just puked all over the thing, Michael."
Hey man, that's right. Hey, we got a bunch of bruiser. Let's see what we got. We got bruiser baits. We got ready. You got to say it right when you say it. Talk about the big nasty. Here we go. One. Let's do it. You ready to call them together
Yeah,
now? You know how to do it.
I know.
One, two, three. Duh,
Duh, big nasty.
big nasty. There
Heck
you
yeah.
go.
But yeah, what?
And we got well, we're not done yet.
I'm,
We got spear point hooks up here. We got a whole assortment of spear point hooks, guys, and we got a bunch of stuff up there. Yeah, geez,
yeah.
that makes me want to hit the lake right now just looking at all that stuff.
He also asked, "Is that rain gear or cold weather only?" It
That
is
is both.
the bibs and the jacket is like is rain gear. But what makes it into a cold weather is going to be the under like the base layer. It's like that. It's almost like a crap. I said it earlier. A wetsuit type deal.
Okay.
But the the bibs and the jacket is more or less as a rain gear.
Yeah, it's both. It's both foul weather. And the best way to put it, Colin, is it's foul weather slash rain gear. It's going to be the
Yeah.
best foul weather gear you've ever worn, and it's going to be the best, the driest, the the warmest in the wintertime, and it's going to be the coolest in the summertime when you get that warm rain that comes down. And you know, the one thing about Florida, and Mike could attest to this, in Florida, you might get a storm blow through 1 minute and it might blow right through, and about 30 minutes later, just by the time you take your rain gear off because you're getting so darn hot, you're going to have another squall blow through. You got to put your rain gear right back on. Well, if you get a good set of foul weather gear and rain gear that doesn't get you so darn hot in the summertime, when you leave it on, you don't have to keep taking it off and putting it on because you're not even going to know it's on you. You know, once that squall passes through and you're kind of waiting for the next squall to come. So yeah, you kind of got the best of both worlds. Foul weather slash rain gear is the
Yeah,
best.
and that's kind of like what we was talking about when Norman was saying that Chad really thought this through
Yeah,
about making it, and the price range on it, like it is the top of the line of apparel stuff that you're going to get, but not the price tag.
yeah,
What he could sell this thing for, he could get a whole lot more than
yeah,
what he's actually selling.
yeah. You know,
So
and the guys that actually go north in the wintertime, especially like
they're going to love it.
especially like your tour guys, the guys that actually once they leave the state of Florida in February and March, go up there and they're still having to fish and compete in 20
Yeah,
degree 19-degree weather. Not that it doesn't get that way in Florida, because I've fished some 19-20 degree weathers at the beginning of tournaments in Florida too.
yeah,
But it's going to be great for them guys because again, you're going to have a foul weather gear, which is for your frigid cold weather that's going to keep you warm, but you're also get your rain gear with one, so you don't have to have two separate out. You don't have to have a foul weather gear to keep you warm when it's 20 and below 20 degrees
yeah,
in these northern lakes, and you don't have to have a separate rain gear just for rain. You got the best of both worlds with it, so it's going to be great for that aspect too, especially a lot of your tournament guys that fish
yeah,
out of the state of Florida and back in the state of Florida.
yeah. My dad says you can't beat Dennis and his family. True gentleman and joy to be around. Thanks for taking care of the boys for a couple of days. For sure, Dad. Thank you.
Yep. Yes,
But
sir.
we got something else. Mike Mike said that first place on Placid with Big Fish of the year and third on June, first overall. Good job, man.
Yeah,
Good
good
job.
job, man.
Uh,
Was that your end of the year? Was that
that's
your end of the year tournament?
what it kind of looks like.
Yeah, it probably was.
But
Awesome job, dude.
hey, Kim, that's
Yeah.
not Kim from Jax.
Okay.
Uh, but let's see. Jonathan says, "Are they going to have size that fits some of us who may or may not have a buffet problem?" Yes.
They will have a size for everybody. They will have a size for somebody like me that looks like a toothpick when he stands up, and they'll have a size for somebody like you that looks like the Goodyear blimp when he stands up.
Oh man, you throwing daggers right there. Michael says he's got five to go.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, we they are going to have the sizes, all sizes. So,
Yeah.
um, but
Even up to triple plump.
yeah, let's move on because I mean we're already at 30 minutes and we just talked about Firefly. So let's move on real quick. Let's talk a little bit about Spear Point and let's kind of tell them maybe what they can kind of expect a little bit from Spear Point or from us that has to do a little bit with Spear Point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. We were able to hang out at the Spirit Point booth a little bit. We're actually Art was supposed to come on, the owner of Spirit Point, tonight and talk a little bit with us as our guest. And again, Art uh, is feeling a little bit under the weather tonight. His voice is gone, and so Art, hope you feel better soon, dude. And
Yeah.
we're definitely gonna reschedule Art as soon as we have an opening date that we could reschedule them and kind of work it out. But yeah, we got a lot of exciting stuff going on with Spirit Point. We actually talked a little bit about they have a new hook out.
Yeah.
That they're actually more geared towards their tackle, just tackle. I guess you could call it tackle makers, or but anyway, we're a little bit talking to them about trying to get their hooks, so we could start utilizing them in our Chattown lure
Yeah.
swim jigs and
And
our.
I tell you, Norman, they got a new hook, guys, that they just released, or that they're, it's not released yet. It's coming out, that they just put out on, or out in Icast. It's called the Diesel Hook. If you go to like Instagram and stuff like that and look up Spear Point hooks, you're going to see they've got videos out of the Diesel Hook. And what it is going to be a phenomenal jig hook. We're going to put them on our swim jigs. We're going to put them on our football head jigs. Um, Anything that we can get to where we can put them hooks on there. And if they do, Norman, like what we've done, because we've been fishing with spear points for the past 2 years, and one thing that I really do like about it, Norman and I, we've done videos on this to where we've caught like a 4 or 5 pounder, got it to the boat, and let the line go back out and let it spool it out, and then bring it back, and that hook has not moved at all.
Yeah.
So what we're thinking and hoping that this does, this diesel hook, what it's going to do, because like when you're jig fishing, Norman, if like let's say you got a half-ounce football head jig, and you jack the jaw on that thing, but the hook or the weight is outside of its mouth, and you know what happens on the first time that it jumps? It's going to spit that jig out.
Oh yeah.
So we're we're hoping, and we know that I'm probably about 99.9% sure this is what's going to happen, because when you hook something, and dang, it went to ugly to uglier. But but when here's this is what Norman's holding is the EWG hook. That is what we've been using that like crazy here the past 2 years. And see how he's got his finger in there. What's going to happen is when you hook set that thing, it is actually going to be grabbing a hold of, like, let's say the top of the mouth. It is going to that hook's going to go in, and then it is grabbing a hold. So it is not going to move at all. It's going to be a solid, stiff hook set. And so with him, like seeing that right there, if you put like a half-ounce football head jig on that diesel hook, that's going to be shaped. It's shaped just like that, and I guarantee you're going to be able to land more jig fish and not having to worry about it jumping up and spitting that jig out.
Yeah,
So,
exactly, man. Just the way they're designed is really just for that.
yeah.
That's
What's up, Gino? What's up, brother? We got Gino's in here. Uh, Gino is a buddy of ours that we met down at Icast. We're going to have him on, and cannot wait. He is a pro kayak fisherman,
yeah.
and so
And he's
we
also
actually
on
got
the Spear Point. He's also
exactly,
on the Spear Point team.
yeah.
So
So he
part of
said
this.
he just got home from work. He said, "What's up, guys?" So we're. I talked to him earlier today. We got to set up a time to where it's gonna be good for him to come on, um, because he's like everybody else. He's got another job that he's got to do. And so, but man, it's just that diesel hook, man. I'm excited about it.
Yeah,
I'm
and
about
another.
putting it in our jigs, the micro jigs. We we are going to we're trying, and I was talking to Gino, and I was talking to him about wanting to put those spear point. some spear point hooks in there. He says, "Man, they're going to get that done. They're going to make that hook for you."
Yeah.
So
So and I
we
was
are
asking
only
another thing
stoked
too
about that.
is we're talking about a little bit ago talked about some videos I edited today. Also, I another one that's ready to be released also is on the diesel hook. We actually got a video with Gino at the Icast
Yeah,
Spearpoint
and
booth. That's
that
gonna be
video should be
released too.
coming out. And Gino, if you message me, we will we'll try to send that video to you to where you can put it on
Yeah,
your social media too. So
yeah.
we'll try to keep
We'll
in touch
probably
with
get that one of Gino with the diesel posted tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that. Along with we'll also get the foul
you.
weather gear with
We'll
Firefly
Yeah,
posted.
we'll tag you in it, Gino.
Yeah.
But
So
he
keep
says
posting
that that
those
diesel
videos.
hook's going to change the jigging game for
Yeah.
real. That's what Norman and I were talking about. It is going to. I mean, people around here. There's only like one place that I know of that has spear points, and uh, we're trying to get them
Hopefully we're
into
gonna get those
all the
changed.
stores
Yeah.
around. But
Amen.
when that diesel hook comes in, especially when we can put them in our jigs, like the swim jigs and the football head jigs and stuff, man, it is going to. I mean,
Game changer.
it is going to wreck some people's
Real
world.
game changer. Yep.
So, but let's let's go on to. We went by Power Pole and hung out with them for a little bit, and which everybody knows that which they came out around the classic time with about the move, and which we got to kind of play around with it and stuff like that at the classic, and then we got to chit chat with some other people there at the power pole booth. But is there anything else that you kind of want to talk about with the power pole?
Just shout out to Greg, Brian Watts. Got a chance to talk to Hector a little bit. There at the PowerPo booth as well. Hung out there a little bit. Talked to a few of the guys. But yeah, the move is just such an impressive trolling motor.
Yeah,
And now with the move that PowerPole has out, now it's always been with PowerPole total boat control, and that's what it's all about. Now with the trolling motor, guys, with the move, now you completely have total boat control everywhere from the back of your boat, the transom, all the way up through the front on your trolling motor. Now it is completely 100% total boat control. Uh, just such an impressive technology with that trolling motor that they have in there. But I will big shout out to Greg too. I hollered at Greg. I think it was 3 days before Icast. Of course, going down to fish Florida lakes, shallower water. I knew I was going to need my power pole some point down there, and I had a couple of my buttons went out, so I hollered at Greg. Of course, the buttons were 5 years old, so got really a pretty good use out of them. Hollered at Greg. It was too late for me to order a set and get them in before we left. So the type of people Power Pole is, basically Greg says no worries. He says I'll make sure I have something for you. So shout out to Greg too. He was able to hook me up with a set of buttons, so we didn't miss any time using them down there in those shallow bodies of water down there in Florida. At least I was able to still use them from the front of the boat. So
yeah,
but that just goes to show the type of people Power Pole is. They just go over and beyond to help us as fishermen, us as anglers out. But
yeah.
yeah, man, just a lot of cool stuff, and we're still going to try to get Greg and Brian on. We were supposed to have them on as a guest a while back, and something came
At
up.
the classic,
Yeah, at the classic, and just our scheduling kind of didn't link together at the time. So we're still going to try to get them on there so we can talk to them about some of the new stuff they have coming out. Where they could explain a lot of that stuff, even though we know a lot about it. They could really explain a lot of it better than we can on the different new technology that they have coming out. So we'll definitely get them on there sooner than later.
exactly. Um, and another one. another booth that we went by, in which we talked to him for the past year, is Doug Reed at Hogzilla. Um, they've got an interesting kind of little product, I guess you should call it. Actually, I got some. Or if you talk about it for a second, I'll grab
Yeah,
this.
while Colin's going to try to grab one of their products, Doug Reed is actually scheduled to come on the podcast a week from next week. In 2 weeks, he's actually going to be our guest. So we're going to be able to talk to him a little bit about what he has going on. But I think Colin's going to grab a couple of them to show you. But they have what's called the Floatzilla, and it literally allows you to put it into a worm or to incorporate it in a soft plastic to make that worm 100% floating. Uh, and there's not a, even when you buy a soft plastic off the shelf, it says
Sorry,
floating
guys.
worm. There's not a lot of soft plastics that's actually going to float a hook.
Yeah.
So check
So
that out. What Colin
this is
has.
what their package is, like
Yeah.
this. But and I might,
And Colin will explain to you how to put it, how to incorporate it in the baits too.
I I just may have some baits around here that I can put it on.
See if you got a 6-inch bruiser, big stick laying there somewhere.
I got them right here. All right. So what it is this. Let's see if I can get. See how and it's got
It has a centering pin screwed in both ends of it.
on both ends. So what it is like.
And while Colin's doing that too, they actually have color matching. So when you order them to match whatever bait you're going to be putting it in.
Yeah.
So
So
you can
all
actually match whether it be green pumpkin, watermelon red.
right.
You're going to be able to get all of your main major colors that you're going to be using.
Exactly. So all you do is just punch it in and just screw it in, right? And so
So
right
all
here.
Colin done, he basically cut out of the worm. He cut wherever he wanted to put
Well,
it.
I
He cut
just
it out,
right.
cut it in half. Usually, if you want to keep it the same length, whatever the length of the Floatzilla is. You're going to cut out about a 1-inch section wherever you want to put it. Kind of keep the bait the same length. But you could actually, you don't have to cut a section out. Just cut it in half if you wanted to, and it'll make it a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But I typically will cut about one section out where I'm going to add it. That way it doesn't extend the length of the bait any.
So this is what it looks like afterwards, right?
Yeah.
So what it's doing is when you've got like let's say your Texas rig or something like that. So your weight's on this end. So what it's doing, this is going to float. So it's going to bring that tail up. And so as it's floating up, it's going to be shaking and stuff. So uh, we've used it on Chick.
Yeah.
And we've caught fish on it. But they've got a new product along with this, the new product, which we didn't get any. But what it's going to do, instead of putting this piece in, it's actually you're going to cut the end off of the end of the bait, and it goes on, and it looks just like, and it almost looks like the end of like the big stick and stuff, almost like a bullet shaped look. So you just, and it has the same thing. The center pin screws on, and it stays on there. It's going to float it up also.
Yeah.
So this has been a phenomenal bait, kind of a bait that Norman and I kind of kept a little bit secret because we really enjoy throwing it. We've caught fish with it, and if people ask, we do tell. But it's been one of those secrets for us that we wanted to kind of keep. But we're gonna have Doug on, and
It's not going to be a secret any longer. We want everybody out there to know about them. We want everybody to use them, and we want everybody to go to Doug Reed's website and purchase them. Do you remember what the
float.
website is?
Yeah, floatzilla.com. Yeah,
Floatzilla.com, guys. Go to their website, check out all their products, and see what they have, and
yeah,
try them, man. You will love the product. It works for us.
yeah.
It
So
works.
with that being said, go check them out. We don't have a discount code yet with them, but we're
It,
working on it.
we will have one.
Yeah. Another
Yes.
thing is, what you see it in my hands, Norman. We got to talk to the people from Rift Mask, RIFF, Rift Mask. The dude gave us these, Norman, didn't he?
Yep.
And
Yep.
told us to give them and then give our honest opinion. So
So,
this
what's
is
your
the
honest
first
opinion on
time,
it?
huh?
And I have a pretty good honest opinion, and I think you do too. Let's talk about our honest opinion. What do we think of these?
Well, and that's what we told him. We said, hey, when you tell us you want our honest opinion, we're going to give an honest opinion if it's good or if it's
We're
bad.
gonna shoot you straight.
And I said, because we want our viewers to know once we tell them this is a good bait, we want them to know that it's going to be a good bait. It's going to catch fish. Just like if it's a piece of equipment that you're going to have on yourself while you're fishing, we want you to know it's good. It's not good. This is what's wrong with it, or whatever. I fished with this for what? Let's see, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, for 4 days
Yeah.
because I wanted to give it a good, honest opinion to where when we came to do this podcast, I wanted you to know what I really thought of this. And it comes in different colors, not just this. They got the mossy oak, like the camouflage with the tree and all that. And then this is also a mossy oak color or pattern. Also, they've got blues. They've got what was it? Yeah, a yellowish kind of color.
Gray. I think they had a gray
Yeah,
and
and the
black.
gray. But what this does is I'll do like this. I'll go on and put it on.
And we'll be having a video coming out too on that
Yeah,
as well. So that'll be hitting probably within the next 3 or 4 days.
yeah. So what it is that it just slides up. You see, I didn't even have to take my glasses off or my hat off or anything like that. So what it is, I can tighten this down to where to as tight as I want it. It has the elastic on both sides, so I can tighten it down. Right, this can go up underneath, so it's not flopping everywhere. And which this is how I like to have it is to have it tucked in. To me, it was more comfortable. Um, that's the only kind of downside that I really had, Norman, to it. Um, but the thing is like this will go up underneath my glasses. Let's see. It kind of got out of shape.
And tell everybody how that snaps on too. I've actually
Right.
never seen a mask or hoodie that has that same kind of technology in it, and
It
it's
has,
really great how you could
yeah,
quickly snap it, and it's not really
yeah.
snap. What is it
Well, it
called?
doesn't snap. It's actually got a magnet on this end and then a magnet right here, then a magnet down here to go down here.
So it's actually
So,
magnets that actually snap it together.
right. So when you hear,
Here, snap.
yeah, and then it
Yep,
just
you're right.
snaps. And you put it on. And what this is going to do, guys, is so when you're breathing, uh, it's on, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to fog up your glasses. And I've had it on. I mean,
Right.
especially when we were out with Dennis and had all them bugs. I had
And
this on.
and what's the worst thing when you wear regular buffs or most buffs out there? What happens? What's the number one downfall of most buffs when you wear glasses, especially with your
Yeah,
sunglasses too? It fogs your glasses up almost instantaneously,
yeah.
and
And
you didn't have
so,
that problem wearing it the 3 days that you had your sunglasses on.
no, I did not have any kind of issues. And so another thing is that I like, you could either do like this pull it off, it has a Velcro patch right here, and on the back you got a Velcro patch on the back. So you're running down the river, you just want to have just the kind of the sun shield and stuff over your head and stuff. It has a little visor, so you really don't have to have a hat on. But Norm and I, we always have a hat or a sun visor on. So, but that just stays right here, and it will stay there. We were running what 65, 70,
Yeah.
and it just stays there. This does not. I mean, you can tighten it to where it does not blow out or anything like that.
And
Uh,
they have one coming out too. I don't know if it's actually released yet, but
it's
it'll be
not
released
released yet. No.
soon. Where they actually have a pocket stitched or sewn in it for an ice
It
bag or an
has a
ice
zipper. It
a
has a
zipper
zipper, and you
pocket.
can put. They've got like little ice packs and stuff that
Yeah.
will go in to this the collar part of it.
So help keep it
Another
cool.
thing about this collar, it has like these the D rings in it, so you can, if you have it undone and stuff or outside your shirt, you can put in like your snips and stuff like that or whatever. You can have it. You can put your uh, Ultrex controller, have it clipped on the hair where it's just hanging down right here next to you. So
Yeah.
this here, when what it was mid 90s while we were up there, upper 90s, and so I had this on, and I tell you, Norman, once I broke that sweat, it actually made it cooler in. I mean, it was more tolerable to
And
have it on because
yeah,
this was it kept me cool.
yeah, and
So
not only for the sun, the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday that we're actually fishing during the daytime, but when we went crappie fishing at nighttime with Dennis on Thursday night with all the bugs. Now I didn't have mine with me on the boat when we went out Thursday night crappie fishing, but them bugs are just atrocious. And tell
I
everybody
didn't have no issues with it.
I was looking at Colin. I almost stole Colin's before he put it on. I mean, but he had no issues. That it just. I mean, those bugs were such a nuisance. I mean, I'm talking thousands and thousands just buzzing your head.
Yeah,
And with that on, Colin didn't have any effects of the bugs. Me and Dennis were sitting there swatting them almost all night long, and Colin was just sitting there fishing because I mean, so bug protection as well. Not
yeah,
only the sun, but great bug protection.
yeah. So it's great product. Rift RIFF.com. You want to go pick them up,
Yeah,
and I mean, and I can't remember. It was not that expensive either for them.
yeah,
I mean,
I'm
it
not
was
sure exactly. I can't remember exactly what the retail, the MAP pricing on it is, but you definitely got to check them out on their website.
yeah,
And we'll have more stuff on that down the road. And we're actually working out to have the owner on as well as a guest, so we could go more
yeah.
into detail talking about it as well.
So
But
yeah, maybe we can get them as a giveaway to be able, so we
yeah,
can give a couple
yeah.
away.
But it's
But
definitely a product if you're an avid angler and fish a lot
you're
and
going
need
to
that
want them.
sun protection. If you're a nighttime angler, need that bug protection. It's a product you really have to have.
Yeah. So all right, let's done talk about Icast. We can go on for another hour and a half because we're at 55 minutes right now. Let's get down to some nit and gritty about what people really want to hear. Let's talk about some fishing,
Oh man.
which was only talk about one trip because then you'll see videos of other trips
Yeah.
that we had down there.
Yeah, keep an eye out. We got some good video stuff coming out here of the fishing once we got down to Lake Placid. But kind of pretty cool. We're actually on our way out on Thursday. We typically leave the show around 2. Once we get all of our business done on Thursday, we leave. We're try to get back down to Lake Placid. Of course, we actually had the crappie fishing Thursday night, so we had to make sure to get down there in plenty of time for that. So we're trying to work our way out of the show and ran into a longtime really good buddy of mine, which Neil Stark with Fishing with America's Finest. He's actually a guide in the Everglades But his name of his guide service is Fishing with America's Finest.
Yeah.
And
Hey, before we go any farther, um, let's put this out there, Norman, because I want people to know if you know anybody and you're in the Chattanooga area, we are trying to uh, we want to get Neil up here to uh, Chattanooga to fish and stuff like that.
yeah,
But he's also told us if we can get uh, some military people that have been in the military that might be suffering from PTSD or anything like that, some just military people in general to come out if we can get enough of them and get people also to help with taking them out, then he's going to come up here and he's going to help supply everything
yeah,
for us to be able to do
yeah,
that. So
yeah. He
again,
would
if
help
you
support
know anybody that's
the
military that would love to be able to go fishing or that, just let us know so we can kind of get a list started to where we can get a hold of Neil and then work it to where Neil can come up here
yeah.
and do and what he does with
And,
fishing with America's finest.
exactly, and we'll go from there. Of course, we'll get all of our local licensed guides involved to help out. And that's one thing with all of our guides around here. I've slowly gained really good friendships in the 3 years that I've been here with all of them. They're great. Every guide up here is great guys. They love to donate their time um, for good cause, stuff like this. But and getting back to Neil, that's kind of where I was going with that too, with Fishing with America's Finest. Neil, that's one of Neil's foundations that he does as well. He gets military veterans, past and in some cases present military, where he could get them out on the water, and donate his time for that. But it doesn't only go with getting them out on the water. Neil actually goes above and beyond on land as well, doing charitable stuff with Fishing with America's Finest. As far as one thing I could think of off the top of my head was we had about, I guess it was about 1,000 military personnel about ready to be shipped out, and Neil actually funded and done a dinner, barbecue, an outing a couple days before all the personnel was actually getting ready to ship out. And he had all kinds of giveaways where each military personnel that was there was able to take something that they could use when they got to Afghanistan or wherever they were going to be deployed, such as suntan lotion, something they could use over there.
Yeah.
So they got to take a bunch of stuff with them as well. So that's just one of the avenues that Neil kind of works with the military and helps them through his platform with Fishing with America's Finest. So, but anyway, getting back to our
Yeah,
trip.
let's get back to fishing.
Let's get back to fishing real quick. We actually ran into Neil on the way out, and talking to Neil, mentioned to him that we're going to be going down to the Glades on Friday. Well, Neil basically said to us, "Hey, you want me to come along?" Well, anyway, Neil is a guide down there, one of the best top guides in the Everglades, and you'll kind of see what we're talking about when the video gets released. But needless to say, we met Neil down there Friday morning, and the rest is history, dude. We must have jacked. I think the final count at the end of the day was we lost count probably at about 100 peacocks. And talking about we started out the
It
day
was
with pictures.
crazy.
Oh yeah, we were taking pictures of 4 pounders after 4 pounders, and I think there at the end of the day they're
We
hitting.
had to, we didn't have time to take pictures at the end of the day
We started just
unless it
releasing
was 6 pounds
4 pounders.
and above. But
Yeah, yeah. Unless it was 6 pounds, we just started releasing 4 pounders without even taking pictures. We had so many pictures, our phones were blowing up so much. But just a great day down there in the Glades, and thanks to Neil Stark again, Fishing with America's Finest. can't shout out enough about Neil what he done. He basically, gave up his day to come down and guide us around the globe there.
And
We
I
were
mean,
gonna go down anyway,
yeah,
but
but
we
he
were
took
gonna go
his time
down and
off.
probably catch 10 or 15, and everything would probably been the same as we caught last year, smaller. Neil was able to take us down there and really show us what we needed to do, fish it the right way, and he put us on some giant peacocks, dude.
Yeah, and about a 10-foot gator.
Oh yeah, we hung out with a 10 foot gator all day, and
I fed it.
wait, we're not gonna give away too much about Allie, but wait for the video. We got some impressive video footage
Yeah,
with Allie, spending some time with Allie down there. Allie
but
was an
I will say I fed it about a 6-pound peacock.
yeah, let's
That's all be said. That's all.
that's all to be said. Wait for the video. We got some pretty
Yeah,
cool video footage coming out. We
yeah.
hung
We
out with
won't tell
Allie.
you what you'll have to see the video to see what Norman done to the gator.
Yeah, I was surprised. Me being from Florida, I fished around bigger gators than that all my life. I could remember times in Okeechobee where I was fishing around 12, 13, 14 footers where you could actually walk across them back to back when the lake's down, and you actually had to alter your cast so you didn't land on a 12 footer's head. There were so many gators just swimming next to the boat. But I was kind of surprised. Last year was the first year you actually seen an alligator up close and personal that wasn't in captivity.
Correct.
So I was kind of surprised to see how well you were doing with that. I mean, guys, and again, we're not going to give too much away, but Allie pretty much, for the most part during the day, you could actually reach over the side of the boat and pet her on the nose.
And
Uh,
it's not leaning over.
just,
It
yeah.
was literally the nose was probably about 8 to 10
Yeah.
inches away from the boat.
And
Constant.
again, if you're not from Florida well, anywhere that has gator, I don't want to specifically say Florida because you got them in Louisiana just as much as Florida. So you got gators other places. So I'm not going to really say specifically Florida, but if you're not used to fishing around alligators and you don't know much about them, I'll just give you a little bit of a hints on a 10, 12 footer. Doesn't matter how big it is. If that gator wants to come up on the deck of your boat and spend some time with you in your boat, he could do it before you could even snap your fingers. They
Yeah.
could come right up in the boat. So, with that being said, I'm kind of a little bit used to that. But you did pretty well, Colin. I didn't see you get too nervous there at all during the day.
Well, last year we had them come by, but they typically would stay 4 to 6 feet away. Typically, but they would just swim right
Absolutely.
by.
But
But
see,
this one
the
just
difference
stayed with
the
us.
difference from last year and this year was this year we were catching 4 pounders almost every 30 seconds. And
Yeah,
that guy knew who Captain Neil was. When he seen Captain Neil coming, he said, "Oh man, I might have a meal ticket here." Last year, it was just me and you and your dad, and
we
we
didn't know
probably
what
caught
we're doing
about
down
10 bass. Where yesterday or this trip we probably caught over 100 thanks to Captain Neil. So that gator knew that he needed to be hanging out there.
there. Yeah, and so, but it was a blast, though. I mean, we
Oh,
got on it. I will say this in the videos, unless Norman gets a hold of it and cuts it out. Norman will ask you for bait. If you're getting bait, he'll ask you, or you'll say, "Hey, Norman, do you need a bait or whatever?" Because we was fishing with live bait, and so Neil and myself, we'd all time would ask him, "Hey, you need a bait?" He'd say yes, so we'd hand him a bait. Norman would go and grab his bait, wouldn't ask nobody else, and then he would back boat everybody to where he's catching fish, and we're having to throw the live bait and all that, trying to get it up to where we need to get it. And so
It's a doggy dog world out there, dude. No, I
you'll
just
probably
and
see where like,
Colin's a little bit on the over exaggeration
no,
there.
I ain't over
Oh
exaggerating.
yeah, hey, we'll see
We'll
what
get Neil on here, and
we'll
we'll
see what
get him on here.
Neil. You and Neil had kind of teamed up on me there. So towards the end of the day, so I'm sure you and Neil's going to be siding with you. But
Yeah, he is, and
Neil will be our guest next week. By the way, we're plugging next week's show. We'll go more into detail on Neil fishing with America's Finest and our trip down to the Glades next week. Neil will actually be on as our guest. But I'll just say one thing
you'll get to
specific
see
that
it.
Neil that I know Neil is going to talk about and probably try to throw me under the bus on. We had an instance where both me and Neil had a 4.5 pound peacock on at the same time, and his peacock so happened to run across my line. I can't help where his peacock runs. Well, his line rubbed against mine, and my line sawed his in half. Well, the
Guys,
story goes, I
we
cut.
have videos of it.
Oh, we have videos of it,
We're
but
going to see. It
all
comes
right,
down to where Norman let his peacock run over where Neil's was, and their
right.
line got tangled up. But I will say that K9 line is the jam
Yeah,
because it
that
just
K line,
it
that
popped that
K nine is
whatever line he had.
yeah,
And so
but
actually, we got some line coming to you, Neil. So,
yeah.
uh, but
But
guys,
as you can hear how we're ribbing each other here, we had a fun day on the boat. I mean, everything you hear that we're doing now happened on the boat, and it's all in fun. We have a good time with it. You know, we might rib each other, get on each other, uh, give it to each other, but it's all in fun, dude. And
oh
we have had some laughs out there, and Neil even got in on the act a
Oh
little
yeah,
bit.
he
Want to hear
after
a
he
little
started seeing us give each
more.
other a hard time, it took him probably about 45 minutes before he started ripping on us.
Yeah,
And
so but we always have fun out there.
I know when I fed Allie,
Oh
uh,
boy.
he gave me a hard time,
Oh
and
yeah.
I just looked at him. I said, "Hey, up in Tennessee, we don't have nothing coming after the fish we catch." So, excuse me. But guys, we've been on here almost an hour and 10 minutes, and we could just keep on going, and I would love to, but I would also love to be able to get some food in my belly. And I've been up since about 1 o'clock this morning, unloading some little Debbie's, and y'all know the deal with it, how it is every Thursday when we're doing this.
Oh yeah.
But I need to get some sleep, need to get some food. Norman, you got to probably eat too because
Yeah. Oh,
you're
I'm
always hungry. But
yeah.
guys, thanks for coming on. We deeply appreciate you coming on here. Stay tuned to what we are doing
Yeah.
because we've got some serious stuff that is in the works
Yeah.
that is going to be phenomenal, isn't it?
Yeah, and another thing too is we have some great companies that are supporting us, what we do, what we love to do, what our passion is. But these companies that support us also are big
Thank
advocates
you.
and support the industry. These companies support the industry a lot more than they support us. So they're big advocates for the outdoors and for what you guys do on the water as well. So
Yeah,
make sure get out and support these companies that support us because those companies are the same companies that support the industry, support the outdoors. So make sure you support them companies that you see following along with us.
exactly. Hey, and before I go, um, I want to say something that I did not care too much for at Icast. Can I?
Yeah, go right ahead.
So
We try to keep it real. We try to keep it honest.
yeah,
Unless it's about me, then keep it hush hush.
yeah,
I'm just
Norman, yeah, I know. But one thing we got to see a lot of new stuff talking about new boats. We got to see the new Icon. My thinking on that Icon, it has some cool features. The
It
deck
has its
is
pros and its
massive.
cons.
The deck is massive, but they've wasted a lot of space. There's a lot of space that has been wasted in the back end of that,
A lot of
the live wells and stuff.
fishability space wasted.
Yeah, it has a lot of wasted space on it. So
That's
I
that's
think you could do a little bit better, guys. But
that's one thing I like to when I'm looking for a bass boat, Colin. The one thing, and you'll hear me say all the time when it comes to bass boats, fishability. There's a lot of bass boats out there that'll run 90 miles an hour, and I'm not going to name any. Well, I might as well just Allison's, your Bullets. The basically those boats are race boats that you could fish out of. But
yeah,
what you get when you get a race boat that you can fish out of is you get they're concentrating more on the
speed
speed the
instead.
boat is versus the
Comfortable.
fishability
Yeah.
for fishermen. Uh, then you got a
Which
lot of
they
boats
did
out
that
there that
icon though.
well, you got a
It
lot of boats
is
out there that give you
fishability for the person in the front of the boat. If you're fishing to where you got a co-angler, that co-angler has no room and
well,
no room to put
that's
anything.
the thing. Fishability. When you say fishability in a boat, it means the overall the whole boat.
Right.
Um, and that's the compartments, the lockers, the deck space, not only on the front but the back. But me in a bass boat, I like a boat that gives you the best of all worlds. It's going to give you the speed that allows you to get to point A to point B in a quick amount of time, but you're not going to lower your standards on the fishability part of the boat, your rod lockers, the lockers in general, your live well space, your battery compartment space. And that's one of the things I seen was a couple of lockers, such as towards the back of the boat, just didn't quite have. In my eyes, it wasn't really well thought out when they were designing the lockers towards the back deck, and that might be a lot due to the fact that the back deck was smaller. So if
Yeah.
you did have a co-angler fishing on the back, you didn't have a lot of room for them, and that might be one of the reasons the lockers were a little bit on the scale down
Yeah.
side of things for the back of the boat.
But I will say this, Icon, if you would want to lend us a boat for a year, we might
Hey,
change our mind.
yeah, right.
But yeah, that was one thing I didn't. And which I've had a couple people ask me if we've seen the boat, and and I told them yeah, and they asked, and again, that's what we're about: being honest, and giving
Yeah.
true, honest opinion about. And again, they say opinions are like buttholes. Everybody has one. So that is our opinion on that icon. The front deck is massive though.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, let's get off of here, man. I gotta get something to eat. I just felt like I wanted to say something that
All right, dude. Awesome, man. Guys, until next time, remember, don't miss us next Thursday, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, with our
Bill
guest,
Stark.
Neil Stark, with Fishing with America's Finest. We got a lot to talk about next week, including our impressive trip to the Everglades, hanging out with Allie. So,
Yeah,
tight lines. Colin, enjoyed it, and live the passion, guys.
love the passion.